Rosaleen, we are absolutely delighted that you were one of actually, I think, within our first 20 to join the Valuable 500. Mm-hmm. So why? Why were you one of the first? What made you join?
Well, we, as an organisation, we have a culture that's trying to ensure that people bring their whole selves to work, and we really try and celebrate difference. I think it's hugely important if you're going to make an organisation where people can truly be the best version of themselves that they can be. So actually, the opportunity to promote this at scale and to have a community that would enable our organisation to just step up and take the challenge and hopefully learn from this, it was too great an opportunity to miss.
Yeah, but why do you care about it?
Why do I care about it? Well, I think all of us have a disability of some sort. I'm dyslexic. I don't see it as a disability, by the way. I see it as a huge, huge, huge advantage. It has always been an advantage because I'm wired in a different way. I think in a different way. And I don't think I'd be here today if I wasn't tapping into that in some way. And I think we need to celebrate those differences. And I think people, if someone has, something about them, mm-hmm. and they have to hide it, then I think that's a very poor indictment of the society we live in.
Yeah, but so we did a piece of research with the EY. Mm-hmm. It says 7% of our C-suite mm-hmm. have a disability, yet 4 out of 5 of them are hiding it. Why do you think that is? I know I hid mine. Mm-hmm. I'm 20 years out of the closet in Accenture, but I had lied to Accenture about being blind. Mm-hmm. Why do you think 20 years on, we still have 4 out of 5 people not declaring or disclosing or identifying?
Look, I think we all have our demons of different sorts and things that make us secure, insecure, whatever. So I can't speak for the past, but I think we just need to create cultures and environments where actually, we celebrate that difference and actually that it's recognised that that's just a part of who you are. And, being able to be your full I don't believe you can truly be authentic if you're not being open about you as a whole individual.
Because Maya Angelou has a great quote saying there's no greater agony than an untold story inside you. Mm-hmm. And I think what's so important, the Valuable 500, and particularly leaders like you speaking up and saying what your experience of difference is how important that is for role models for younger people coming up, but also for your peers. And so when we consider that, why do you not think leaders have thought about disability as part of the inclusion agenda, along with everything else? I mean, I know you guys are overwhelmed, but
I think often in organisations, when you look at, I think people latch onto the gender one because it's very, it's visible. It's something that actually is very measurable, and also you there is also a danger in organisations. If you try and do everything, you will fail at everything.
Yeah.
And so I think focus is very important. But I think you made a really good point, which is actually it isn't a pick and mix. It isn't one or other. No. It's actually creating an inclusive organisation that actually celebrates difference of whatever sort.
Yeah.
And so honestly, I think it's been, and I mean this very respectfully, but I think for all of us, it's probably almost been an afterthought. Yeah. And yet the reality is, you create environments where, people with different different disabilities can actually, it's an untapped pool of talent that actually the most enlightened companies, I think, will be absolutely reaching out and ensuring that actually they're at the top of the queue when it comes to this talent, that we need to make our organisations far more accessible and open to to celebrate this amazing opportunity.
But you're in the business of talent mm-hmm. and placing people. Mm-hmm. In your world, how has disability ever come up, or is it part of conversation? Are organisations starting to be maybe more proactive, or?
Yeah, I think we're seeing organisations being much more alive and aware of the conversation, and much more aware of things that actually maybe people didn't even think of being a disability, actually recognising, okay, that is a disability. So how can I ensure that actually that person can be successful in our environment, and how do I adapt our environment to ensure that they can, I suppose, absolutely achieve their full potential and be a really significant contributor for the organisation. And actually, a lot of the people that I talk to, who've had one challenge or another, when they find an organisation that is willing to adapt and support them, honestly, the additional discretionary effort that you get from that person is just second to none. But we should be doing it because it's the right thing to do, and plus it makes good business sense.
Well, it's the market worth 8 trillion. I mean, who wants to leave 8 trillion on the table? Seriously?
Absolutely.
I just want to ask you one question. It's about accountability. Peter Grauer, when we were on the main stage at Davos, he's the chair of Bloomberg, and he just leant back and he just goes, honestly, we're not doing enough. And there was this great moment that everybody else on the panel was like, oh, you know, and I think there's such pressure on leaders to be all things to all people. But when it comes to disability, you're not supposed to be an expert unless you have a lived experience, and even then you only have it for yourself. How can we make leaders begin to feel more comfortable and more easy on themselves and not trying to be everything and all? Because this is a journey. Like, we just want leaders to begin and to be open and to start.
Yeah, well, look, all I can do is speak for ourselves, and I know we're very committed to it, but I know we're barely scratching the surface in terms of what we need to do. So we're going to be on a really steep learning curve, which we're absolutely committed, and we're all on that journey. But I think what we, more than anything, I think, is within our own organisations is, look, for some people it's just a very private thing, and we need to respect that. Yeah. And you know, but for those that actually would welcome the opportunity to share, we need to create the stage and the opportunity for them to share. And I think the more people share their stories, I think the more people will feel comfortable that it's just another part of you. That I had blue hair yesterday, I've got green hair today. You know, this is just a part of who you are. And I think once we get and we normalise it, then, you know, it will become a non-issue.
Well, thank you so much for being one of our pioneers and early adopters. We really appreciate it, and it's fantastic to have a female leader as well.